Well, Sherlock is here with me to tell you a bit of a long story, but I think it's interesting. And I promise if you stay with it, you're going to see some really exciting video clips that are fun to watch and maybe informative to you. But it's a story about an organization whose history goes back 90 years. In 1935, on the weekend preceding the Westminster Dog Show in New York City, an organization called the Dog Writers Association of America, DWAA, was founded. They had a meeting, and these were people who published articles about dogs or books about dogs. As an organization devoted to recognizing excellence in dog publishing, the DWAA has established a contest which gives awards called Maxwells. The Maxwell is a medal, and you see a picture of the Maxwell medal right here, named for a past president of the DWAA, Maxwell Riddle, who was a long-time publisher of feature articles about dogs, books about dogs, and a recognized AKC judge, very, very active in the dog world. And these are kind of like the Oscars of the dog publishing world. And because the world has changed, publishing about dogs goes way beyond books, magazines, newspapers, columns. It also includes other areas such as photography, podcasts, websites, and videos. And videos! I do videos. I found out about that. Now, I've been a judge in this contest in the past. My wife, Katie, and I were both judges about a year or so ago because it requires a panel of close to 100 judges to run a contest of this magnitude. And every submission is reviewed by a minimum of 3 judges to grade it, and finalists are chosen, and then from the finalists, it's further evaluated to choose winners in each category. So, very recently, we had the Westminster Dog Show going on in New York, and it's a big weekend. If you haven't been in New York on Westminster weekend, you're really missing out on something. There are other dog shows going on in the city, kind of as a prelude to the Westminster show, and the DWAA Awards Banquet also is going on Saturday evening before Westminster. This year I decided to, rather than help judge the contest, to actually become a part of the contest. So I picked out 3 videos to submit in 3 different categories, and turns out that I was a finalist in all 3 categories. So Katie and I went to the banquet. Here you see us arriving at the banquet, and we met some really nice people. There were people from AKC, people representing AKC publications, the AKC website. There were other people who are actively involved in the dog world. So after we went through all of the awards for the print medium publications, I noticed that the awards were kind of scattered to various people involved. I did notice there was one person who was the editor of the AKC Family magazine, and she actually received 3 Maxwells, which was quite an accomplishment, got her a lot of recognition. And then we came to the point where Sherlock doesn't want to sit on my lap anymore. Apple, will you sit on my lap? Oh, Apple's taking over duty of being on camera. The first video I submitted was in the health and general care category, and it was my video about hip dysplasia. I think it's a very informative video, very helpful to people who want to know more about hip dysplasia, which can affect Cavaliers. Here's a little excerpt from that video. The diagnosis for hip dysplasia is done by X-ray. Let me show you an X-ray here. This is an X-ray of the pelvic area of a dog that is definitely affected by hip dysplasia. You can see the balls at the ends of the femurs, and you can see the sockets that they fit into. But you'll also see a significant amount of space between the ball and socket. In fact, they appear to be slipping completely out of position. This is exactly what we find when there's a dog affected by hip dysplasia. Now, we want to know if any of our breeding dogs have hip dysplasia because we want them to be free of that before we breed them. So Apple here, for example, just turned 2 years old not long ago, and that's old enough for her to be tested. The reason why we wait until they're 2 years old is because that's about the time when all of the growth plates have closed, and that joint should be in the same position that it's going to be for the rest of her life. So let me show you Apple's hip x-ray. This is what the x-ray looks like that we submit to the Orthopedic Foundation for Animals, or OFA, who does the evaluation. But if you look closely at the pelvic area, you can see between the ball joint at the top of the femur and the socket in the pelvis, there's an extremely tight fit with very little space. So you can see the difference between a dog with hip dysplasia as opposed to a dog whose hips are in good conformation. Now, I was up against other media done by people who are veterinarians or experts in their field, so I really didn't hold out too much hope. So when it came time to call for the winner of the award, I heard my name mentioned, and I was shocked, very, very surprised, but pleased that I got this award. This is a picture of Joel Gold, a longtime member of the board of directors of the DWAA, awarding me my Maxwell. And I was so pleased because Joel has spent decades writing articles, books, and just contributing so much to the world of dog publications. And so I came away with a Maxwell. I was so pleased, especially in a category like that. Then we came to the next category, which was about single breed or all breed dog information. And I did a video about myths about the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, debunked. Here's a small excerpt from that video. Myth number 2. Cavaliers are nothing more than couch potatoes and are not active dogs. They do, as you can see, like to be on your lap, and they love that human company, but they like company also in activities. Here's a video from several years ago when one of our Cavaliers was competing in agility. That's me when I was still able to run around fast. And you can see how she navigates the agility course extremely well. Cavaliers, as a matter of fact, generally make up a very large percentage of dogs entered at agility events, and they do very well. They are active dogs. And much to my surprise, again my name was called. I got a second Maxwell. Here's Joel Gold awarding me the second medal. So now my neck was getting a little weighted down from these Maxwells, and my head was getting a little bit swollen because I got 2. We finally came to my third entry, which was in the humor category. This is actually my favorite of all. This is the Cavalier Easter egg hunt from 2024. This is a fun video. You should watch the whole thing if you haven't, but here's a small excerpt. So, without delay, let's meet our competitors for today.
Bootsy is as cute as a button. She just turned 7 years old, but she's got blazing speed working in her favor, a great competitor. Apple is Bootsy's daughter, and as a young one, she doesn't have a lot of experience at egg hunting, and she is carrying a litter of puppies, but she's not going to let that slow her down. Lizzie is much more talkative than her sister Bootsy, and we hope she doesn't get distracted and let that slow her down from finding eggs. Lizzie's daughter Bella got shut out last year without finding a single egg, so she's hoping to come back today and make a good showing.
And so it is time to release the hounds. This year, the Murphy Cam, named in honor of our great egg hunting boy Murphy, is being carried by Snapchat, but she's a little bit reluctant to get going with that thing on her back.
Bella got one.
And before all the dogs were out the door, Bella found her first egg.
Bella gets a treat.
This is a marked improvement from last year when Bella had a hard time just catching on to the whole idea of this. Now, if you make note of the colors of all these Cavaliers, you'll note that we are missing one color in particular. There are no Blenheims. The Blenheim Dogs Association, which is composed of all Blenheim dogs, is filing a protest, although it's hard to translate from Cavalier into English. Oh, wait, Bootsy has one.
Good girl, Bella. Good girl. Yes.
Ooh, I think Lizzie wants to talk to us. One of those eggs to be found is very cleverly hidden at the base of that table. And of course the time came for the winner to be announced. And guess what? Here's Joel Gold awarding me a third Maxwell. And we even, at that point, we were joking around a little bit. Got a photo here of Joel kind of amazed at the fact that I came away with 3 Maxwells. So there I was, a winner of 3 of these prestigious awards, going home very happily. We had a nice train ride from the city where I could show off my medals. And I'm extremely grateful to everybody who allowed this to happen. I want to give additional thanks to Mary Myers, a member of the DWAA Board of Directors, and she organizes and runs the contest each year. Does a fabulous job of coordinating the multiple entries in all these categories. As I said, about 100 judges involved in the process, and she was very welcoming, and I really appreciated that very much. Also to my friend Barbara Majera, who took all the photographs for the awards banquet, and who encouraged me to submit some videos for entry. So if you enjoyed those little excerpts, make sure you're a subscriber to this channel. You'll notice on all my videos there's a little watermark of a dog's face in the lower right corner. If you click on that, it'll give you the opportunity to subscribe to the channel. I would encourage you to subscribe, and that way you'll be notified about any upcoming videos that are released. All right, so Apple, what do you think of all that, Apple?
I really like your videos, and I'm so happy you made me a star.
I appreciate your support, Apple. You're a good girl.